afternoon, everyone. So let's start. So today we are going to see the React component states, hooks and state management in React. I'm going to create. Last week we have seen how we can how like the evaluation of JavaScript development, and also what is happening in our whenever we are scaffolding a new project, what is happening behind the behind the scenes. Now we are going to create a React app using the recommended or most popular way. I'm going to go let me open the code. Terminal. To scaffold a new project, bit is the recommended way, because it is much more faster than the any other React development development uh, tool. So I'm going to create the new project using Git. The command for creating a new project. I already installed this package for my previous project. So it will be, if it is not installed, then it will be asked, do you want to install this package globally? So you have to click yes. Now I am going to create the new project. So Wait is not only used for used in the React community, it is also providing Svelte, Vue.js, and other frameworks to scaffold other frameworks. Now, but we are going to select the React. There are two types of build tools is used to by the behind the scenes. One is ES build, and one is a Rust-based SWC compiler. So I'm going to select the second option because it is the fastest build tool. So I have to.
A quick question, Sundar. So
Yeah.
I know VS Build can be downloaded from Microsoft Portal and can be installed. So how can we acquire this SWC? Is that a package or is that some kind of EXE that can be downloaded?
It is available as a NPM package.
Okay,
NPM package. So it will be I can explain you.
sure.
Once you select the project configuration using this thing, it is it is a package. It will be it is defined in the package JSON as a dev dependency, and it is faster because it is immediately created a scaffolded our project, but it won't install npm modules. So we have to manually run the command npmi. So I'm going to do that now. Then we will explore the content, the files and the structure of the scaffolded project.
Okay.
So node modules, here we see all the npm packages we are going to that will be installed in this folder. There will be a public folder. Whatever we are putting in the public folder, that will be copied whenever we are building our you can place your asset or any dependencies that you are you are using in in your project. You can put it in the public folder. The source folder, that is the entry point. It is by default there will be src. The full form is source thing. Here we have our all the code, css, or whatever we are created for the application, that will be included here. And one more folder, this is for the bit environment bts, that is for here whenever we are adding or writing anything, the bit, all the types will be by default TypeScript compiler will be infer this file, and we will provide additional intelligence support whenever you are typing inside the VS Code. That is the use of this file. And you guys already know the git ignore file. So it is used to like ignore in the repository. There is one more file called ESLint. So linting is used to like enforcing our coding with certain standards. So this is by default have some linting, and also some linting plugins will be enabled for us to check our code is written properly, or if we make any mistakes by accidentally, it will help us to revisit our code here, revisit and fix the code. So index.html. So this is the starting point of the entry point of our application when we are running this one. So it will take care of the relative path and whatever we are. It will be like transform the for example, the bit.svg will be placed in the public folder, but it will be like once it is built and compiled, it will be like properly pointing to the all the relative. It will fix our all the relative paths in this index.html. And second, the package.json. So here you like how we can download, right? It will be like while I am running the npm I command, that will be installed, but it is like when we are scaffolding by selecting the TypeScript with the swc option, this plugin will be like included in the dev dependencies. This is like npm package, and it is providing some set of tasks transpiling, bundling, and this is one of the fastest build tools for the React. Not only for the React, it is in the JavaScript like a transpiler or compiler. And we have like here, like by default, this will be like a React and React DOM will be included in our dependencies, and other whatever we like to run the application, everything will be defined in the dev dependencies. The important thing is these are additional setups like ESLint plugin hooks, and these things. Important thing to run our application is the bit and bit.js plugin React SWC. And these two packages have the type definitions for the React and React DOM. So this will help us to you can go like if you want to check the any implementation details or any implementation details about the function, you can open the DTS files and you can check. Or in the code, VS Code itself, it will be like help us to like understand the it will give more information to the developer by default. So tsconfig.json, these are well, the target is set to ES 2020. We cannot lower down to this option in the bit-based scaffold. When you are scaffolding a React project using bit-based bit-based React projects. So apart from this, these are the configuration used for the TypeScript compiler. So basically, it is including the source, whatever we are adding in the source, it is taking the include, and it will check for the all the source or the code in the source folder. Here, it's a target, the compiler option target is ES 2020. So it will be like whatever the standard defined in the ECMAScript for the 2020 version, that will be like available, and it will available in the while bundling, while building our JS code. So these are for these are some tools. So I will explain this later, because we are not going to see any class components in React.js. Some of the our compiler option will be we can discuss in a separate session. So lib is a short form of runtime environment, what is to be included, well included. So based on that, you can see the ECMAScript extension methods and everything you are typing your code. So module here, the module is Bit is only supporting the ES6 module. So it will be always ES next or whatever after ES6, whatever the option we have, then we can we have to define the module here. Skip live check is true equal to like if you are using any library or in the node modules, anything you don't want to like check any, it won't check anything inside that. Uh, for a library or in the node modules folder. Apart from this, no emit equal to true. We already seen this option in the last thing. So these are some TypeScript parameters that will be passed to the while TSC compiler as like triggered behind the scene. One more file we have bitconfig.ts. So here it is passing the information to the bit based npm commands. So here it is this is the place, the plugin. We are importing the React plugin from the SWC plugin React SWC package, and we are defining here. So based on this will be like SWC is use the Rust based compiler is used to behind the scenes. Inside the source folder, we have the one style sheet, and main.tsx is the like this is the file. It is responsible for mounting the root element of our application. So we have to define the whatever the root is that is already defined here. But if you are manually scaffolding anything, then you have to define in our HTML file. And yeah, and there is a one default component with app with a counter example is like created for us. So I'm going to run this application. To run this application, you can run npm run dev. So it is loaded. It is much faster. I think, give me a second. Give me a second. I am trying to like now you can see my browser and VS Code, right?
Yep, both are visible.
Okay. So I'm going to like remove this component here. I can refactor to So I'm going to save this file. So you can see it is immediately like update our UI in the browser. So that's why like bit means like it is for quick in the meaning of the bit is like quick in French. I'm going to refactor this code and move to the separate thing. I'm going to create on folder. So without defining this type also, you can define your write your component. But like this is while you are defining this type, this will like enforce you to like follow some certain rules or ESLint plugin rules. So it is better to like you always use the React.fc means functional component. We are seeing the error here because it is coming from the ESLint. This is not used by in the application. So I'm going to export this one. So I have added some code length thing that you can configure in the VS Code settings, so that you can check how many times this component is used across the application. So it is showing that it is 0 times used. So I'm going to copy this one. Uh, Before we are testing our component. So what is a hook? So hook is a special method in React that will be subscribed, the function, a component can be subscribed and listen to the changes, and based on the changes, component can be like uh, uh, component can be updated in the UI. So that is the special function. So previous, like before 16.8, there is no 16.8 or 3, I forget the exact version. So there is no hooks. So we can still use the functional components to define the UI elements. But after 16.8 version, React team added the hooks for the, especially like to maintain the state. So why we need the like special component? Because every time whenever there is a change happening either by the like properties or state passed properties or state used by the React component change, right? It will trigger the re-render that we already see. Number of like it will be like multiple times. The React will re-evaluate the whole function from here to like line number 3 to the entire like line number 17, but it will not. Render phase is a different thing, and the commit phase, like there are mounting there are actually like 3 to 4 phases in React components lifecycle: mounting, um, updating, and unmounting. These are the lifecycle methods, but this will be happening in the like before like mounting itself. Like render will be triggered. Render means like it will say, trigger an object, JavaScript object, or by default you can consider your new DOM like object is uh, returned by this function that will be compared with the actual virtual DOM. Virtual DOM is created the first rendering, like first mount while you're mounting or rendering any component at the first time. There is a copy of exact copy of the component will be created and stored inside the React library. So it will compare both things, whether it is the same or not. Then only it will like batch this update. Like React will not the React updates are asynchronous. It is not synchronous. So it will compare and it will be schedule the update, and the scheduled updates will be like committed. Then only you can see the changes. For example, I'm clicking here, we are updating the state and it is updating here, but behind the scene, it will be like, it will trigger a sequence of actions, and all the actions are asynchronous and batched. And once it will be like that the final state, like React will compare the previous render information with the current render information, and if there is any difference, then only like it will be like update the UI. So what is the like use state? Like use state is the special function. You can consider that is a special function. So whatever we are defining inside this component, that because if it is again and again re-evaluated, means called, means whatever you are defining inside this function will be like, for example, if I'm setting the so like extension for the Chrome developer tools, React developer tools. So once you can install this one, that is available in the like developer tools, so that you can select this one and you can see the component details. So I have added this one. We can see, go to the console first. So I'm clicking here. It will be like one. So I'm going to print this before like I'm incrementing. Clearing this one. So we have incremented our state, but the value will be 0 now. And we have again incremented this value. Again, I'm going to click. So this value will be again 0 only, because the React, whenever the state change happening, it means it is re-evaluating the entire component. Means it will be like call the entire, re-execute the whole component. So that is the reason we are having the using the state to persist some values. So React will store this information, and it will not be like whether check is whether it is a first render then the default value will be assigned to the assigned. Otherwise, it will be like remember the last state value. And if there is any change happening in the last state value, it will be like set the component, like reevaluate and pass the actual state value. So this is the special function to persist some values across the multiple re-renders of the React component. So far, any questions?
No.
Okay. Now I have added the extension and I have highlighted, like check the, whenever there is a change, right? Whenever there is a repaint is happening in the UI, it will highlight what are the things are updating here. So it is saying that this component tree, counter component and count and everything is if you see, it is highlighting here. Are you able to see the highlighting in some green color shade?
Yes.
Okay. So, but actually, without this also you can check by, I can show you. Resize this one. Here also you can check what is updating here. It is check the entire component. The only the node inside this one only it is updating. So what is changed now? That is that is the only thing it is updating, updated by the React. We can check the what is the signature for the use state. So if you have any, if you don't know the implementation or anything, you can click on Control plus on that function. That will open the type definitions for this one. So if you look at this, the thing, the use state. So we are passing yes. Yes means like you can state object or state type, and what you are passing the initial state. That means the initial value, it could be any value based on the thing. And what is returning here? So it is returning the state. State means that it is like referring the state type, and dispatch, that is nothing but dispatch set state action, that is a function. So it is like the use state signature is like accepting one argument and returning a tuple value. That is the first is the getter and second thing is the setter. Then why we are using const here? So we don't want to reinitialize this count or set count to the different object or anything, because if you are assigning something like this, then this value will be like the reference will be lost, and that is the reason we are using mainly const here. And the set count getter is whatever we are going to like this set count is will return a new state object. In React, the states are immutable, so we cannot directly change it. So that is the one of the reason we are using the const here. And we can see how the one more thing. Like if I'm going to copy this line and pasting again, so this time, right, I'm calling this method 2 times and incrementing 2 times. So even though if I'm doing the state count, state like updating the state, something like this, you can see what is happening in the UI. even though we are like calling the set count, it is updating only like incrementing only one time. So what is happening here? The state are like batched and the reference. So when we are calling the second set count, the count value will be the same. Like in the line number 9 and 10, the count value remains the same. So how we can fix this issue? So the set count has a like a optional callback method. So this means like the set count has the current like the last previous state value, that callback. If you're passing the signature something like this function will get the access to the lost state value. Now I'm going to copy and paste this one. Now I'm refreshing the page because we are calling the set like set state 2 times, so it is incrementing 2 times. So if you are like depending on the state value or the last previous like current value, so make sure you are like using a callback function with the like access to the value, so that this will be triggered the after this set count, because this is a asynchronous call. Once this is committing the state value, then you can have the like access to the last state value here, whatever the value changed here. So far, any questions? The hooks are basically the hooks are like differentiated into like the three types. One is for storing the state. One is for like updating the component, like making side effects in the component, and one is for like increasing the performance. So we are going to see the two kinds of like hooks today. So what we have seen is like a first state hook one. The same way we can have one more hook, state hook. I can show you. You can copy the whatever we have here. So why my autocomplete is working this way means like I am I have installed a Copilot in my VS Code, so it is helping me to complete the code. I think this one. Okay, we can go here. Almost similar. So what is the advantage of using use reducer? So it is one thing they want to keep the state logic, state updating logic outside the component. That is the one thing. And if there is any complex means you may have a different for example yeah, your workflow kind of updates in your component you may use in your application. At that time you can use, but I don't see any special use case for this one, because still it can be implemented whatever that is the use reducer is offering. The same way we can implement in the use state, but these hooks are used for maintaining the state for the functional components. So syntax is this is the action. This is we can see this same method in uh, now earlier this was the based on inspired by the Redux, a special state management library. So based on that they have designed this hook especially for the same exact similar syntax and dispatch the set state method. So if you have a multiple case, right, tomorrow you you can increment this one without changing your much in component, and you can what do you call, you can extend your component in a extend your component in latest state. That is the only advantage. But apart from this whatever we are defining or whatever we are achieving using this use reducer, that can be easily implemented using the use state hook. But these are the two hooks to maintain the state for the functional components. So basically, this is it will be mutate the state, create a new copy, new state thing, and it will return the state inside this function. So based on the cases, it will perform the certain actions and update our state and returning a new state. Any questions so far? So this is the first type of hook we have seen so far. There is another hook. There is a that is called a use effect hook. So mainly the use effect hook is used to make some changes or updates inside the component, or basically it is used to make some updates to the component, or perform certain actions and send some information changing the state inside the effect to update the component. So for that, we can create one small component. Before saying the digital clock, I can show you that you can use any name to the component that should be starts with upper that should start with uppercase. Except HTML thing, your component should be starts with uppercase. There is some set of rules or best practices to follow. And what is this? Like the return will be a single, single element only. You can have a children inside that element, but the top level you can always return one element, a single element only. So here I am defining one empty ankle bracket that will tell us like it is a fragment, that is called a fragment. It means this is it will be I don't have a root element, so that I can wrap it to the fragment. So React will understand. So this fragment is the root element for the whatever the component that is nested inside this one. So basically, I want to create one digital clock that take every seconds based on my local time settings in the laptop. So I have created this one, but how I can tell the component to update. So I can still use this one. You go here. So now my digital clock is ready. So it is updating every time. But this is not a recommended way in React. Even though we can achieve this one, achieve something like this. So if you have any question in the syntax or anything, you can ask me. I can explain. I hope this syntax will be understood. So how we can do this and why we have to use the user vector. So the same method I'm going to so use effect is another hook. So we can check the syntax. It will accept the first parameter as a function, and the second is an optional dependencies, array of dependencies. So based on that, it will render. So even though we are defining a use effect without dependency, it will run, but that is causing unnecessary memory leak. So you have to properly def, define your dependency so that the hook, the effect hook will check for the dependencies and will execute this the whatever we are passed in the first parameter. So if I'm not defining any dependencies, means that will this will be rendered only after the mount of after the initial render, and this will be, it will not be it will not be executed again and again. So if you want to do specific activity only after mounting your component, you can define one hook and with a empty array of dependencies, and you can execute your code. And this whatever we are passing inside this one, this will have an optional return that is used to that the optional return that is a function. Okay. So why we are returning this one, and what is the purpose of this one? If you are making anything and you are like any listening for some changes, or making some network calls, or creating set interval, like you can use these return functions to clean up the whatever happened inside this function. So for example, we triggering set interval here, but our ID is not clear. So now our function, like it is like we are like doing some cleanup functionality here. Suppose what if like anything happening, and if you want to like make some changes, some particular value or props changes, then you can like add the dependencies here. Now for this example, we don't have such a logic, and we are we are having only one state. For example, what happened, I can show you. Pass the dependencies in a correct way. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? I can show you here. File. So even though we are passing any state, a state thing, it is not a proper example. So why I'm telling you, for example, you are listening for some changes and you are updating the state here, that will cause the infinite loop of execution of this method. Then you can see some error here, like for example, a maximum call stack is exceeded. You can check this in this example. So whenever state change happening, so I'm listening for this change, and I am again updating the same thing. So what will happen when we are having this project? So if you see our like it is a kind of uh, falling unexpectedly, it is causing infinite loop. So make sure whenever you are passing your dependencies inside the effect hook, it is properly defined, and you are making like you are checking a proper validation inside your component. So if you see maximum update depth exceeded. So React wants this like maximum update depth exceeded. This many times it is this component is trying to update, and it is causing re-render in the something update in the UI. So you can always check your console, and you can install like a React extension to debug this kind of issues. I'm going to remove that one. And also, if you want to perform any updates or the side effects, so that you can add your dependencies in for example, first state or class, and second you can define here, and you can check condition whether if you're making mutating the state inside this hook. You can check and properly add some conditions so that it won't trigger again and again. So these are the two important hooks used in the used in the React development. There are other hooks we can see in our next class. So you can if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Can you give, I'm not very clear about the dependency usage in use effect. So maybe in the next class, can you give a short example
Yeah,
of
we can
how?
we can give because these are like very simple states only. So we are not having so okay, we can create one more component now. So I can explain this component. So we have created two user input, and we are storing those values in the state. Okay, and we have a submit. Something submit means like we are consider we are going to submit to the backend API. So I'm going to add this component now. So any question in the component declaration?
No.
Okay. So basically, whenever there is a change happening, so we are listening to the event, input event, and we are setting the state again, so that we can read these values later state. For example, on submit,
Sorry if I was not clear about my question before. I was just trying to understand. I mean, I was
yeah,
asking
that's
about the
what. Okay, so I'm checking whether
example
the
of use
component is
effect.
working or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for example, before submitting itself, you want to make sure like the first name or last name it may be a unique name. Okay, if you want to
Okay.
perform certain activity, then like this is a one use case only. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste the same thing. I'm clearing this one. Now I'm typing here. So if you see in the first name, we are saying something like whatever we are changing, change the value. Suppose if I'm not like if I'm making any changes here, the effect will not be called here in the last name. So it will be like the dependencies we are passed inside the use effect hook is only the first name, so that it will be only respond to the change, some change happening in the first name. So that is what like we are passing in the dependency hook, sorry, dependency array to the use effect hook, so that the whatever the logic you are like defining here, the first parameter is nothing but the one function that will be executed whenever there is a change here. So it
Okay.
will be listened to the one. So if you want to run the same code while you are making changes in the last name also, then you have to pass the dependency, update the dependencies correctly.
Okay.
Now, if you see, so whenever there is a change happening in the state variable, all the state variable, so the hook will be like the whatever the function that was passed to the hook will be getting executed.
Yeah, it's clear now. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, it's clear.
Okay. So we have a couple of hooks and how we can style the like React component in our next session. So basically, there are some other hooks. The some other hooks is used in the React application. but those hooks are like for the like a very big project, we are not going to use those hooks. So these are the main fundamental blocks of like hooks and state management. And these are the hooks you will like use in every component in a different for each and every implementation in React. One more hook is there, like we will see in our the remaining hooks, and how we can style our React component, that we can see in our next session. Thank you.